Good afternoon or good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Crusty podcast, episode 155. This week's episode, Flop 26, the big climate summit in Glasgow, Scotland. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, look forward to paying more taxes for more political virtue, BS, and other contradictions. All that and more coming up to the show. Please stick around. Listener and viewer discretion is advised.
Hit it, sweetheart. Because I am hard, you will not like me.
Yes, sir.
There is no racial bigotry here. Here you are all equally worthless.
From Western Canada, this is the Crusty Canuck podcast, a Canadian veteran's point of view on political, social, economic issues and life. Here's Crusty.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 155, the Crusty Canuck podcast. I'm your host, Crusty Canuck, and a flop 26, not COP 26. All these parties getting together and discussing what to do with our economic and our climate future. I'm your host, Crusty Canuck, and just before I carry on with this show, this will be my last podcast for the next 10 or 11 days because of my work schedule. I won't have a lot of time to reach out to you wonderful people to get more podcasts up and running. If there is crunch time, there's time available, I will do that, but this will be the last episode for the next 10 to 11 days, ladies and gentlemen, so please keep that in mind. And in regards to the draw I had for the 30th of October, nobody donated. So I'm not gonna cry about that or get all mad or upset or oh well, that's up to you, my audience out there. If you want to donate $5 to $10 a month, that's up to you. I'll advertise it again, but there was no draw for the 30th because nobody donated. So anyhow, carrying on. Flop 26. Yes, it's been the big news the past couple of days in regards to what's going to happen with our climate future. Of course, the alarmists out there and Extinction Rebellion aficionados, people gluing their faces to tarmac, gluing their breasts to tarmac in protest of the climate emergency and how we're all going to die in 12 years. Panic, 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 Chicken Little talking, the sky is falling, what are we going to do? And I'm just standing here thinking, let's have this notional cuff upside the head saying smarten the F up, ladies and gentlemen. Now, you've heard me ramble on before on this podcast numerous times, folks, that in regards to the environment, we have to look after it. Of course, we're not going to throw garbage in the ocean. We're not going to throw garbage in our parks. We're not going to throw garbage in your neighbor's yard. Just common sense, working, getting things together and all that good stuff. We can do it. The campaign promise of the Liberal Party back in 2019 was we're going to make sure that everybody gets to plant 2 trees at the expense of the Canadian taxpayer to stop the carbon footprint and to stop the carbon buildup that's happening in Canada as we speak today. More panic, more worry, more panic, more worry. What happened to those 2 billion trees? What happened? Where did they go? I'll wait. It's now 2 years after that campaign promise and no fucking trees. Okay? But see, those little suggestions right there can give us incentive, ladies and gentlemen, you and me, neighbors, our friends alike, to go buy our own bloody trees. And to stop the so-called carbon footprint, to stop people from meddling with our carbon. Oh, we're going to stop the carbon, right? Okay, now, from what I get out of this big summit and the newsreels and everything that's been going on, mainstream media is all over it like a fat kid and a smartie. Okay, I'm seeing one thing, okay, a virtue. I'm not seeing any real action towards any kind of catastrophes or projected catastrophes. Thank you, Miss Greta Thunberg. I like to say, blah, 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 blah. All you do is talk and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, well, all you're doing, little girl, is talking too. You are being a pawn. You are being used in a dirty fucking game. Okay? And I personally don't care how you get paid or what you do with your time. You're 18 years old. You're an adult now. You better get a goddamn grip of reality. Okay? Now, I'm not going to sit here and disenfranchise a teenage girl or a teenage boy or teenager who identifies as a shrimp or what have you. Okay? But it's obvious she's being used as a pawn regardless. Okay. Now, every one of these climate protesters, every one of these climate aficionados standing on their podium and other people's soapbox at the expense of the Canadian taxpayer, yet once again, is talking about we must take action. We must take action. Okay, great. What are the viable solutions? that are supposed to be put forward to help us. And don't tell me electric fucking cars. Okay? Don't tell me electric cars, because at one time back in the early 1990s, they created an electric car that just disappeared off the market. Now it's coming back full bore because there's going to be a market for it because of government force and regulations. Okay. I guess a lot of people fail to realize that the Canadian winter can impact electric vehicles. I don't care how many generating stations you have. I don't care how many electric cars you put in the market that seem to be efficient and sufficient, whatever. It's a battery. Until we invent a proper battery, and I know the technology is out there for the masses to use and abuse accordingly, okay, until we invent a battery where you don't need to be charging your vehicle every 6 or is it 3 to 6 hours? I forget the schematics. Needless to say, it doesn't seem beneficial to the people like you and me, okay? In the long run, when it comes to long-term investment. Now, when you buy a vehicle, we both know, okay? You want something that's going to work. You're not going to buy a lemon. You want something that has a warranty, okay? That's going to be fuel efficient, so you're not spending so much at gas pumps. But I guess that idea is null and void now, too. Have you seen the gas prices in Canada thus far? Especially our American friends who have been known to get cheaper gas over the long run. Now they're paying through the hoop, okay? And so our American friends like to remind them, too, that we don't pay by the gallon. We pay by the liter, okay? So if you're paying $4 or $5 a gallon, we're paying about $1.50 or more a liter. So it kind of works out about the same, give or take inflation, give or a few 25, 30, 40 cents here and there, but it's still a kick in the fucking junk, regardless. Okay. Now, I don't have any footage of Mr. Trudeau bragging about how he wants to get rid of gas and oil again, but I do have a lovely video I'll be queuing up for you later. So in my listening audience, you can check out the audio too. It's all in the same thing. From Rebel Media, Trisha Gunn, or Sheila Gunn, sorry, from Sheila Gunn Reid, from the Gun Show on Rebel Media. I had a great interview with Friends of Science there, and I'll put tidbits up there for you all to listen to, so you can decide exactly how much foreign money, how much foreign influence is coming into Canada to stop oil production, okay? And what gets me is they want to do things clean and free and all this stuff, yet these are people that are elected that would sooner spend $10 a barrel on Saudi oil and foreign oil, inhumane oil, we like to say up here in the West, and rather than actually produce and contribute to the Canadian economy. That speaks for itself in many volumes, ladies and gentlemen. So I think what we have to do is actually, not only do we have to keep promoting freedom rallies in our major cities, but freedom to choose and freedom to produce our product and get it to market. And not in the crony sense of it, but in the actual modified or the real free enterprise system of it. Okay? No more of this sitting in our hands and waiting for the notional Jesus Christ to come and turn our water into wine.
Stay updated and follow Crusty Canuck on Facebook, Twitter, Gab, Telegram, YouTube, and Podbean. Subscribe today and donate at crustycanuck.ca.
And welcome back to episode 155, Flop 26, in partnership with Your Taxes and Other Things. What a con there, ladies and gentlemen. What a effing con. Okay. Now, everyone has pinpointed, too, especially mainstream media has pinpointed how all of these well-to-doers and leaders alike have been flown to Scotland and then flown to Rome for whatever conference they had with the Pope or the Pape, whatever you want to call him, Pope, Papal, whatever. Not that I really care. And they've all sat and they've discussed all these great ideas. And yet, how many of you, my listeners and viewers out there alike, and the average listeners have been presented any valuable ideas to stop this climate emergency? Anyone? 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 Bueller? Anyone? Nothing at all. Nothing at all. But here, from a blue-collar guy that works in the agriculture industry, okay, that has worked with people who have worked in the oil patch, and we've actually sat and had a few drinks and had conversations about this over the period of months because of lockdowns and all, right? Here are some viable solutions that can help people when it comes to trying to keep the environment in order and trying to keep our homes, warm and keep our vehicles running, to keep the machines going. So all those city folk who sit and complain about meat and dairy and all these things they take for granted and send grocery stores, they might know where it comes from and how it gets to them in a timely manner. So let's talk about geothermal. Ooh, wow. Trying to tap into the Earth's own energy to create heat and power. There's an idea. Technology is there. Let's talk about hemp production, where you can create bricks, clothing, food, and biodiesel. Oh, wow. What a novel idea. Wow. Creating your own means of fuel, creating your own little gas cow, and maybe selling it to your neighbors, or maybe even sharing it with your neighbors and friends and all that stuff. Bartering, trading, making your own money in the same process. I know biodiesel kits are not really that expensive, and they're not that dangerous. As long as you know what you're doing, everything should work out. Now, you might have to get a vehicle that runs on diesel, but you create biodiesel means things get a little bit easier on the long run. Okay. So hemp is a great idea as far as I'm concerned, like say bricks, clothing, and food. Wow. Not to mention a cash crop for you, the taxpayer, and people who really, just want to find a side hustle. There's an idea too. Or actually becoming friends with an electrician and trying to create your own grid system without worrying about the wind or the solar impact. Now, I've seen personal homes that run on solar very well. Great. It's a big investment and ends up paying for itself within 6 months or a year, depending on what you earn, what your spouse earns, or how your partnership earns, whatever. When you put your head together and put viable solutions on the table to run your house or to run your business, things can get done without government interference. There's another one, government interference. Who would have thought? That's the thing. You get rid of government interference, anything is possible. So when these clowns get together in Glasgow or Italy or wherever else they want to be, hobgobbling, going, oh, pity, oh, please, give us more of your money. Yes, we have to stop climate change. Oh, yes, we have to stop the carbon. So we have to charge another carbon tax. You can tell them where to stick it. Right? It's that simple, ladies and gentlemen. There are innovations out there that we can all do. It just takes a matter of research. I do have a book here. I'm not going to advertise its name, but basically, well, advertise who owns it, but it's basically how to survive off grid. So it gives you some insight too. I also have some bushcraft survival stuff, stuff I learned from the military and stuff I just keep teaching myself again and again and again. And the idea, in case there's emergency, power goes out, what to do, that kind of thing. Nothing wrong with that basic prepping ideology too. Nothing wrong with that too. And there's lots of prepper videos out there that you, my fine audience, can look at on your own. Canadian Prepper is a great channel. There's another few. I'm sorry, it's at my tongue. But anyway, I'm losing focus here. We're talking about the whole Flop 26. They call it COP 26. All these parties getting together and hobgobbling what they can do with your money again. That's basically what it is, ladies and gentlemen. Whether it's Economic Forum or United Nations Forum, whatever, it's more of these powerhouses telling you and me again what to do with our money. And well, it's a shit show.
Stay updated and follow Crusty Canuck on Facebook, Twitter, Gab, Telegram, YouTube, and Podbean. Subscribe today and donate at crustycanuck.ca.
And like I said, ladies and gentlemen, please follow me and support and subscribe to me if you can on Twitter and on Telegram and Instagram. That account's still up and running too. I'll put the banners up for you there too. I'm also on Rumble, Brighton, and Wimkin too. So please check me out there. I'm having some issues with my Brightening channel. My last 2 videos, I had 0 views. So if you can catch me on Brightening, please click on it, watch it for a bit, at least like it. Give me a comment or 2 and all that, trying to build the algorithm on my Brightening channel as well. But that's up to you, my viewers and listeners alike, wherever you can find me there too. Now I'm just going to cue up the video I got from Rebel News. Sheila Gunn Reid from the Gun Report. Nice lady. I've met her once before in a couple of live streams we did with Adam Danny Mezei. And just a down-to-earth reporter. Great for her. She's an asset to Rebel Media. She represents the West very well. She's patriotic all around. And she did a great story and a great interview with Friends of Science. So I'll just cue up the video here. Get it all ready for you, and we will go from there, ladies and gentlemen. So please stay tuned. There we go. Ready to rock.
So joining me now to talk about the report out of the Alberta government into just the sheer amount and organization of foreign funding flowing into Canada to stop Alberta's oil and gas development is Michelle Sterling from Friends of Science. And I wanted to have you on, Michelle. I told you this off camera, but I think it's an important point to make. At Friends of Science, you take these big, huge issues and you guys read and research through these volumes of research and then break it down so that the normal person who doesn't live in this world can understand what these big policies mean and what are the implications for the real world. So I just think you're such a valuable resource for people who really want to know what this means in your real life, that to have foreign funded actors attacking Canadian oil and gas. Michelle, can you give us a brief overview? And I know it's a lot, but give us a brief overview of what was, I guess, achieved or revealed by that report.
Well, in my view, the most important thing is that it confirms absolutely, and with cross-referenced evidence by Deloitte, that huge sums of money have flowed through ENGOs in environmental groups in Canada. And a large part of it was directly used to oppose resource development in Canada. It's quite telling that Deloitte comes up with bigger numbers than actually the Allen inquiry did, but they couldn't verify the exact end of where those monies went or what was done with them. But there's obviously billions of dollars that have been used against Alberta in particular, but Canada in general as well, to block development of a resource that in 2009, the Oil Sands Developers Group said it would generate $1.7 trillion for the Canadian economy. And today, the energy resources of Canada, most of which are in Alberta, are valued at $21 trillion gross value, or 13 trillion net. So that would be about $342,000 for every single Canadian. And yet people want to keep it in the ground. But none of our competitors are keeping it in the ground. All of our competitors are booming ahead. And as Minister Savage said at the press conference, with the present energy crunch around the world, Canada and Alberta could have helped, but we just can't get our product to market. And why? Because there's all these ENGOs blocking it. So, I think the real value is it shows people that there actually is a tar sands campaign. It is and has been largely foreign funded. And sadly, I guess all the domestic funding was not totally researched, because what happened early on is that Tides was funded by the Oak Foundation to develop a $30 million domestic fund in Canada. And the Sierra Club was also tasked by the Oak Foundation to set up a general fund to fund climate change activities in Canada. I don't know if that ever happened, but I suspect it did. So, perhaps there are these extra big funds somewhere in Canada that continue to fund these groups. Nonetheless, the top 40 environmental groups in Canada, from our own reports, show that the top 40 had revenues between 2000 and 2018 that were 18 times the revenues of all combined political parties in Canada. So this just shows you how...
Now, Liz, Jeb, I'll just leave it there too. When you actually look at how much is going in here, okay, issues and global environmental concern, and well done for the Friends of Science to putting that together. Tides Canada, I think they're called the Make Way Foundation now, if I'm not mistaken. And you've also got West Coast Environmental Law, of course. That's almost like the Southern Poverty Law Center, the whole social justice warrior. Pembina, they actually work out of Alberta, ironically enough, too. But look at all the money there. When you look at the right side of this column, okay, in 2010, okay, you've got 50 grand going into stopping it. You've got $484,000 $484,000 and $106,000, excuse me, going into these things. So while they're spending all this money on ending Canadian oil, Okay. Do they really care about the environment, or are they trying to harness the market? Okay. Harness the market for other means necessary. Okay. I'll leave a link in the description for you, my listeners and viewers alike, to click on and watch yourself to play the whole entirety. But I think you see my point when it comes to the influences when it comes to producing oil. Okay. You see my point there, ladies and gentlemen. It has nothing to do with, it has nothing to do with saving the world. Now, we can still save the world and still run gasoline and oil products, because like this product I'm wearing right here is oil. This microphone, the soundboard I use, the computers we use, it's cell phones, to the footwear, to some of the acrylics and other materials we wear when we're outside, working outside, like yours truly. Okay. I'm working in the agriculture industry right now. I got a good paying job, finally, knock on wood. They seem legitimate employers. They're great people to work with. They come from all walks of life, and it's based in agriculture, and it's excellent. I enjoy it. I'm not going to become a farmer anytime soon, ladies and gentlemen, but I do respect the farmers. It was part of my campaign as a candidate for the Veterans Coalition Party. But what I don't understand is that we have these stories that are brought to you by the likes of Rebel Media, True North News, and other independent conglomerates, telling you, the viewer, what's going on when it comes to the oil production in this country. And now we got Flop 26, or correction, Cop 26. We both know it's a goddamn flop. To all these elitists and billionaires and aficionados and leaders that know all these wonderful things, flown in on private aircraft, or wined and dined here, wined and dined there, burning all this fuel, okay, telling me and you and other people what we can and cannot do for the sake of the environment. So we know it's a contradiction. We know it's a con, but people are still buying it. Just like I was saying earlier in the show, people are gluing their faces to tarmac in Britain. Ladies have glued their chests to walls in name of this catastrophe they keep talking about. Okay. That's funny, because I just watched a movie called The Road. It's also based in a book by Cormac McCarthy. Okay. And I've read the book before. I'm reading it again just to catch up with things, because sometimes when you read books, you forget about them if you don't pick them up in a few years. But a very disturbing story. Okay. It doesn't talk about a nuclear war. It doesn't talk about zombie apocalypse. It was just, there's an extinction level event that happened and the earth went to crap. They talk about ash. They talk about things that burned. They talk about earthquakes, talk about trees. So obviously in the story, there was an eruption or something volcanic or something devastatingly happened, and it wiped out humanity slowly but surely. Things were colder. The sun wasn't up as much. It was cold. There was ash everywhere. So it's safe to assume there was either some kind of nuclear catastrophe or something happened environmentally. But to make a long story short, it gave you insight on humanity and what lengths people will go to protect who they love and what they love, i.e. the man and his son, the man and the boy, and their adventure to try to get to the coast, to get to south. That was the idea, to get south, right? Hopefully to find refuge or more people like them, the non-cannibal types, the non-looting types, the non-bad guys. They were the good guys, they kept saying, because they refused to kill other people and eat them because there was no food around, except some canned goods they could find, some odd crackers and odd, I think a can of Coke or something. But it gives you insight in the human psyche and what lengths people will go to protect the ones they love. And what I hate to see in the next few years coming, are we going to be prone to that? Are we going to be prone to how we have to protect the ones we love in the name of this climate crisis or this projected climate crisis? Look what the past year and a half has done to us in regards of Corona, right? And you've got politicians like Miss New Zealand Prime Minister Jacinda, whatever her name is. I don't care. I don't pay attention to her garbage. Let the New Zealanders deal with her. Willingly and openly admitting to segregating people. Okay. Noam Chomsky, a figurehead of the good left at one time, who approached common sense, has said some stupid things about people who are unvaxxed. I've said numerous times, ladies and gentlemen, if you want the vaccine, get the vaccine. Okay. It's not like we're dealing with a strain of Ebola here, or a strain of airborne HIV, or a strain of this, a strain of that. It's a nasty infection. And I have personally talked to people that have had it. They wish they didn't. They felt like crap when they had it. It felt terrible. Okay. But those individuals I've spoken to have never told me, you must get this now. They didn't. They said, your choice too. They believed in choice. Okay. And they were also told by some of the practitioners and physicians that looked out for them to have more vitamin C, take some more vitamin D, take some zinc, take some magnesium, try to get some sleep, try to eat healthy food, what you can afford, and at least have it being healthy too. And be a little active. Go out and walk some more. Take the pets out. Okay, get off your butt from the computer, off the cell phone sometimes. And I'm guilty of that too, ladies and gentlemen. Trust me. I'm sure you are as well. But try to put it down. Get out and socialize to the best of your ability. Interaction, laughter. Fucking look at a dirty show. Watch Eddie Murphy's Delirious, then watch Raw, and then watch Dave Chappelle. And I'm a firm believer that Mr. Dave Chappelle did nothing wrong. Why? Because he spoke his mind and he spoke his truth. Well done, Mr. Chappelle. And that's for every comedian out there too. All right. We got to stop living in fear. Stop worrying about the flop 26 or the cop 26. Okay. And if all these politicians really believed in half the crap they were toting, they would have presented and tabled solutions rather than legislation. They would have tabled actual solutions or encouraged young people, let's say 20 to 26 to 28, sometimes 30, that have engineering degrees, that understand technology, to create something to stop the so-called catastrophe or onslaught. Okay? Boyan Slat, Dutch inventor, created a way to clean up the oceans. Why isn't he being praised? And I've used him before, and I'll put his link in my description for you, my audience, to look at and read and observe, submit for your approval, and you can decide from that as well, too. Okay? We're in dark times because it's manufactured darkness. Now, do I personally believe that coal should be annihilated? To a degree, yes. To a degree. They've been using the coal for a long time. Do we still need it? In some cases, maybe. Can we wean off of it? Sure. But again, let's bring to the table viable solutions. What can we do? What can we afford without the government reaching into our pockets yet again in the name of virtue, saying, this is for carbon. We're going to stop the carbon issue in this country. We're going to take another $40 for your tank of fuel, another $80 or more a month for home heating, and up the prices of beef and other desirable consumables, because we want you to start doing things plant-based and start eating more crickets. Yeah, like that's going to fucking happen anytime soon. But like I say, folks, please join me on Rumble, Brighton, and Wimkin too. Get up to my Brightian page as well. Link will be in the description for you. And try to get there and click like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and comment if you can too. Please subscribe to the page. I haven't submitted from the last couple episodes. 0 views for some reason. I don't know. Maybe Brighton doesn't like Canadians anymore. I don't know. But you decide, my beautiful fan base. Try to get that on there and try to get it subscribed as soon as you can.
Stay updated and follow Crusty Canuck on Facebook, Twitter, Gab, Telegram, YouTube, and Podbean. Subscribe today and donate at crustycanuck.ca.
Yes, we're also back, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 155, Flop 26, in partnership with Your Taxes. And what else? More Panic at the Disco, I guess. Not the band, but Panic and, hold on tight. Let's clench our pearls and start worrying about the Carls and Karens out there screaming and yelling at you. Oh, my God, you don't have your mask on. Oh, you don't have your vaccine. Oh, my God, you're not social distancing. Yeah, well, it goes to show that this whole virus is getting ridiculous, too, because they all come together for this big conference, and some of them had their masks and some of them didn't. So regardless, we're seeing it today. When I was getting out and about today in a couple of the shops, I had to get some gasoline, get some stuff for my lunches for work and all that kind of stuff. And I'm going around and I keep a mask on me. Just, because there's a couple of stores that are right stingent about it. And there's a few that are not. Now I have a medical chit that excludes me from wearing a mask over a period of hours. Okay. I can go shopping with my wife or go shopping for myself. Sure, if the store says put the mask on, okay, I'll put the mask on, fine. Because I just don't want any more bullshit. We've all had enough of it. All right. But I'm seeing people, whatever. I'm like, great for them. Good for them. So I'm starting to think people are starting to see the light again too. starting to get out there and start questioning and start just doing. You don't like me with a mask on? Fine. Fuck you. I won't shop in your store, or I'll go elsewhere, or I'll go online. But you're still seeing an abundance on television too. All these big delivery companies helping you here, all these big celebrities endorsing these delivery companies to try this shrimp, try that shrimp, and it'll be delivered to you with the low cost of this and all this other bullshit. And you can see how the mainstream media is encouraging you, ladies and gentlemen, to stay at home. Everything will be done for you. Everything's here at the tip of your fingertips. Oh, yes. Have your credit card, have your bank card. Voila. All you want from here. All you want from there. Oh, my goodness. You can have this. Ooh, you can have that. All in the comfort of your own home. My goodness. Don't do anything at all. Don't do anything at all. Enough of that. I encourage you all, my listeners and fans out there, like, get out and get mobile, get busy, right? And those individuals who have lost jobs, I highly suggest you check out Rebel Media's Democracy Fund, and they will give you a hand. If you have been dismissed unfairly because of the whole vaccination issue, whatever, please check out the Democracy Fund at Rebel Media, and they'll give you insight on what you can do to fight for your rights for gainful employment in this country. And like I say, carry on. Flop 26. What else is it? What else is it, ladies and gentlemen? Is it something worth our while? It's amazing how these politicians have all this time to go and dictate to our lives, especially here in Canada. And Mr. Trudeau even said he was so disappointed in certain countries for not showing up and taking a stand against the environmental catastrophe. And yet you and I both know it's China, India, and a good part of the United States and part of Russia, too, when it comes to the whole carbon issue. Now, we all know carbon's plant food. And I don't believe the earth is going to die in 12 years. Okay. I would sooner be afraid of someone with a nuke doing something really, really stupid than, let's say, a couple icebergs melting. Okay. Al Gore was way off. We all know that. He lied. Okay. Greta Thunberg has lied. She's been used as a pawn. Right. If you want sound advice when it comes to the environment and ecology, look at Dr. Patrick Moore, one of the founding members of Greenpeace before they became a political shitstorm back in the late 80s. He'll tell you too. He'll tell you straight up because he's an actual ecologist. He's actually studied the science when it comes to the environment. He's actually studied the science when it comes to polar ice caps and carbon and atmosphere, all that good stuff. So if you're ever curious about the environment, talk to Dr. Patrick Moore if you can. Okay. And there's a lot of environmentalists that are on this lefty bandwagon too. And I'm not judging their credibility when it comes to understanding the science. I'm going to judge their integrity when it comes to scaring people. Okay. Enough of the fear. Okay. I'm not denying the fact that the climate might be changing a bit, but not to a point where the ice age is coming, or we might see the return of the woolly mammoth or the saber-toothed cat. I'm saying we got to start using common sense again and stop living in effing fear. Okay. Like really, we got to stop living in effing fear and hoping one day, like I've said to you before, waiting for the notional Jesus to turn our water into wine.
Stay updated and follow Crusty Canuck on Facebook, Twitter, Gab, Telegram, YouTube, and Podbean. Subscribe today and donate at crustycanuck.ca.
Mama said I had a face for radio. Yes, and we're back here, ladies and gentlemen, the Crusty Canuck Podcast, episode 155. Just to remind you all, too, this will be my last episode for the next 10 or 11 days. My work schedule is through the roof. I'm not complaining. I'm happy. I got a great job. I work with some great people, but I still need my audience and my fans alike, like yourselves out there, you wonderful people, to keep donating if you can. To those who have donated, please, thank you once again. But you can still grab the mug if you want. Just go to patreon.podbean.com, Crusty Canuck. If you do donate the $10 or more a month, just say donation, mug, and then I'll accumulate it. And the 30th of the next month, I'll do another draw. Now, hopefully, I'll get more come out. And same thing with our t-shirts, ladies and gentlemen. Get yourself a Crusty Canuck t-shirt. Go to patreon.podbean.com/Crusty Canuck. Donate $5, just say $5 t-shirt, and accumulate. And I'll do another draw, hopefully on the 30th November. So please consider doing that. Or if you just want to donate by your own means, go right ahead and do that. There's lots of links in my description where you can do that in your own accord. You don't have to donate. I'm not demanding it. I'm not going to be one of those individuals that demands $5, $20, $30 to sit there and do a little gyrate for you. That's up to you, my listeners, my viewers alike. I like to make this a full-time commitment. However, it's not paying the bills, but I'll leave that up to you, my wonderful fans and listeners out there too. Anyway, carrying on for the last little bit of the Crusty Canuck podcast. And like I said, I did promise a special edition of the Polar Vortex. So here we go for you, my viewers.
The Canadian Polar Vortex of Bullshit.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the Polar Vortex of, or Canadian Polar Vortex of Bullshit will go to none other than, let me take a wild guess here. All the people at COP26. Yeah, really, when you think about it. COP26, all the leaders, all the virtue signators, all the soapbox standards, all the wasteful taxpayers, or correction, not taxpayers, all the wasteful leaders that have used taxpayer money in the name of the virtue. Yes, that's right. All the people at COP26 deserve the Canadian Polar Vortex of bullshit, ladies and gentlemen. So here we go.
The Canadian Polar Vortex of Bullshit.
Yeah, pretty self-explanatory itself. So all the people at COP26. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, I will not be here the next 10, 11 days. I will be working. My day starts pretty early and it ends pretty late. Let's just say around 6-ish, and I get home around 4-ish, sometimes 5-ish. So it's a long day, but I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining at all. I just want to keep my loyal audience informed and all that good stuff. So if you're looking for Crusty Canuck sometime next week at this time, it's not going to happen. Maybe some updates on my community page on YouTube and my page on Facebook, respectively. But in the meantime, just keep your ear to the ground and follow those pages for updates as we see. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, it has been an honor this little while. Episodes 155 episodes. Episode 155. Go figure. God, I've been plugging out this long. It's been an honor doing this for you. But like I said, the next couple or few days, 10 or 11 days, I won't be around. Like I said, just pay attention to my update pages on community page, YouTube, and Facebook for updates as they come around too. Special shout out to Rebel Media out there for their video about the foreign funding, and a shout out to other independent people out there too. Daniel Boardman, Adam Mezei, Frank Vaughn, Fred Stockman, and others who try to get the words out. Rebel Media, True North, you name it. All the libertarian-based companies, Druthers, all those other people, well done on you. Keep the words going. Keep the algorithm going. And you, my listeners and my fans alike, thank you very much for sticking with me all this time. Without you, this would not be possible, right? It would not be possible. And I'm thankful and I'm grateful every day that when I come and do a show, I count my lucky stars that you guys are listening and enjoying and sharing the word around. So please keep sharing, keep the algorithm going. Help us independent guys get up there too. So if you can, please share around all your social media platforms and help us out, right? Everything counts, ladies and gentlemen. But like I said, this has been the Crusty Canuck Podcast, episode 155, right? Flop 26 in partnership with Your Taxes and More Panic, right? I say once again, do what you can to help each other out in these trying times. Like I said, I'm working now, so I'll be able to save my money again. I get some things on the go because COVID took my savings for a real run. And it'll take some time to get back, but it's worth it, right? And to you, my audience and listeners out there, do what you can to help each other at the best of your ability. Look after your friends and loved ones and give some good words of encouragement to each other. Well done. Job well done. Good job. Yes, that's excellent. Good for you. You know, and generally mean it. Do what you can to help each other at the best of your ability, folks. That's the thing. Donate a few bucks if you can to the food bank, to your local Legion, especially the Veterans Association Food Bank in Calgary and Edmonton. They do wonderful things for our vets. And Remembrance Day is coming too. So if you're not in a Legion or any kind of celebratory mode, whatever, take a minute or two. Come 11 o'clock in the morning and just bow your head in silence and think about the men and women that have sacrificed, the ultimate sacrifice for you in this country in the name of a real greater good. Okay. Like I say, this has been another episode of the Crusty Canuck Podcast. I'm your host, Crusty Canuck, and I will see you hopefully in a couple of weeks' time. But like I always say, ladies and gentlemen, look after your friends and loved ones. Do what you can to help each other out. And remember, humanity and merit wins the day. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.
Hit it, sweetheart. Because I am hard, you will not like me. Yes, sir. There is no racial bigotry here. Here you are all equally worthless.
This has been another episode of the Crusty Canuck podcast. Stay sane and thank you for listening. From Western Canada, this is the Crusty Canuck podcast.
Smack my ass and call me Judy.